And you stood up there and said we're going to voluntarily do that, which happened to coincide with the judge's early decision to force your office to do that. You're now taking that back and say it can't be done.
Well, I spoke too soon because in looking at what actually needed to be done when we started digging into it, it was going to take an inordinate amount of time. And what you will see with the election night reporting system is a system that is designed to withstand extreme use. In 2004, in about a 2 to 3 hour period, there were 42 million hits on the Secretary of State's website. We know with the attention and the interest in Ohio and the greater use of internet by many people, not just here but around the world, that the system needs to be much stronger than that. Were we to backtrack and try to do all of this remedial work that was as a result of poor design, and I'm not sure what else because the contractors aren't here for us to talk to. When they leave, all the institutional knowledge leaves with them. The best we could do is to try to put together a trail of emails to see what had exactly happened at the time it was designed and at times when they made modifications in 2006. Our focus is, and we've had to tell this to a lot of activists who want us to go back and investigate the 2004 election. We've got to focus on making sure we turn out a good election this year because we have a lot of voters we have to take care of, and we have a lot of people depending upon a decent election system.
When was this first discovered to be a bad system, and how much did it cost, like state and federal money in the first place?
When we came into office, we knew that there were problems with the database because 3 different vendors had been doing the data entry from the various counties. If you are familiar enough with databases, your data has to be put in the right field. Not all the vendors put the right data in the right fields, meaning the fields didn't match. So one of the first things we had to do was to synchronize the data from the 3 different vendors so that the same data was in the same fields from all 3 vendors. That initially hurt the lookup function for voters even in 2006. The boards of elections complained and said how difficult it was for them to do queries when they wanted to check for duplicate registrations, which is an essential function of the database. We worked on the query process. We worked on revising the manual. There was one statement in the manual that became the subject of the lawsuit about whether or not the matching is actually occurring. And that was in error, but the matching has been occurring ever since. In fact, the matching has been occurring so much that the director of the Social Security Administration told us that Ohio is sending too much data to them to be matched. And what we learned in talking with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and in looking at what we can't control, which is how they send the data to SSA, was that even when they achieved a match of the driver's licenses, they were still sending the blank field for the last 4 digits of the Social Security number to the SSA, which doesn't let you get into their database, but it just tells you whether or not you have a match, and when there's a blank, it just comes back as no match. So all of that needed to be sorted out so that we didn't capture people in that group where there actually was a match. I think Dan Tokaji has stated this.
Is that a costly system if you have to replace it?
It should be able to be replaced with federal dollars, but that's still your money and my money. We'll do everything we can to minimize what the cost would be to do that. And because we have discontinued the practice of widespread outsourcing for routine types of projects and work that needs to be done in the office and have increased the number of programmers on our own, much of this work we think can be done in-house.